The courts have been very busy discussing several different issues at play. However, I want to talk about two significant ones that can impact the everyday person if one of these core issues happens to become federally widespread, and how it can impact you on the everyday basis. So let's jump right into it. The very first one I want to handle is the identification check law that has been passed in the state of Colorado. Recently, I've been hearing around that the state of Colorado wants to enact a new law that requires everybody to submit an identification check at the time of the device being set up. So this phone that I am recording on, should I have gotten it in Colorado, it would have required me to submit my identification over to the store in which I got it from. This has several different problems in the past. The big one I want to discuss upon is the implication of the Fourth Amendment, mainly concerning the reasonable expectation of privacy idea in your own home and in the online presence that most of us have. Most people, when they are online, they expect some kind of privacy unless they have put themselves out there, kind of like what I'm doing here. The other problem is, and this is not just Colorado, this is everybody right now, is the data breach issues. So, as you know, here in probably like 45 minutes or so, Discord, a common communication application amongst a lot of people, is set to roll out ID checks for everybody, though they have since pushed back on that after multiple public backlashes showing that the company that they use, which they've used several vendors for their identification checks, has suffered data breaches. I'm afraid that if this becomes a federal problem, then it's not just going to be Colorado, it's going to be everyone that is going to have to put up with the potential for data breaches being exposed out to the public. And in my opinion, if states are so concerned about teens and kids under the age of 14 being on the internet, because frankly this is all stemming from the Child Online Protection Act. There's one other P in there, but I can't remember the name of it for the life of me. Then what I believe states need to start doing, if they're going to have enforcement being cracked down on them, is they need to, instead of like forcing them to hand over ID, they need to make sure that they are, I'd say, probably above the age of 14 when they can start building themselves an online presence, or until their state-issued ID gets handed to them, at which point they can then turn the ID over to, say, an Apple store, as an example, to show, hey, I am a person who can use this device responsibly. The second one I want to address is the New York versus Valve lawsuit that's currently going on that is alleging that the in-game loot boxes are a form of gambling promotion. The question that could be before the court, I've not read the full lawsuit, but I'll probably drop it somewhere in here in case you want to click on it or type the link in to your search browser and look it up for yourself. The question before the court that I could see happening is, are loot boxes in games actually gambling? And I'd wager no, they're not. The only reason that they could not be that is because the person spending the money in that game does not make any actual money. They might be making in-game currency money, which is not gambling. That's just like you making money to advance the game inside of the game. But regardless, if you get those loot boxes, sure, you might be playing around with getting a new item, but regardless, you're going to get stuff out of those loot boxes anyway. I can't see it being a form of gambling promotions if you as the individual are making money that is not with inside of the game. Like you're making actual money outside the game and you win any kind of outside money. i.e. United States currency, then I could see that being constituted as gambling. And I think what New York is mostly concerned about is this could promote actual outside gambling. The problem is that won't actually be an issue until that child reaches the age of 21. And on top of that, Valve's games are all rated M, which is generally to the understanding of age 16 or older. I'm 21. I could play these games if I wanted to. Do I? No, because I just don't have the time. But that's beside the point. I really think New York is concerned about getting these kids safe, understandably speaking. But if you're so worried about gambling being promoted, why not also go ahead and sue these other companies that have in-game loot boxes? I'm talking about Valve. I'm talking about the creators of Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, all of those companies as well. And in Kentucky, to play into an example, you can't even step into a casino until you're 21. That's just the blatant understanding of it. And you have and despite the fact that you have no way to enforce the 21-year age requirement on game loot boxes, you're still the kid could still be getting stuff inside of the game if they spend their actual money. You're not getting actual U.S. currency out of these gambling boxes, which is why I think this lawsuit might not actually happen to go anywhere. And I might throw the Kentucky Revised Statute Code down there as well if you want to also examine that. So the reason that second issue could impact you is because of the fact that if this happens to become a federal problem, we could see the complete disappearance of any game advancing mechanics, because it could promote the outside gambling issue as well. And YouTube, for purposes of education, there is no actual gambling involved. Now, concerning how the everyday person can be impacted by the first issue, it could limit you from getting an actual new device setup if this happens to become a federal problem without you submitting your driver's license over. And the thing is, this is already a thing. When I got this particular phone, I had to turn over my driver's license to the Apple rep, because he wanted to make sure that I was a user on the account that this phone is associated with. I may not be an authorized user because I can't make changes, but I'm a user. So it's already kind of making impacts, but the data breach problem, that doesn't happen because most of the time what will wind up happening is that the agent would take the device, they're not going to put it into the system, it's just mostly there to verify your age, and also to verify your name on the account in question. I really don't think there's going to be too much worry with this ID check at the device level. I'll have a whole nother video explaining the Discord nonsense and all of that and how it impacts you as the everyday person. So I want to go ahead and conclude this video off saying that 1, this video is not safe for kids. 2, by watching this video and any contents therein, I do not suffer from any kind of emotional damage that may be incurred upon you. And number 3, this is a educational purposes only, meaning that there is no actual gambling involved, because I frankly don't like the idea of it. It's a lose-lose situation in my opinion. And finally, I have recorded this video at 11:45 at night. So I am very exhausted. So I will try to have this up to you probably by about Monday or Tuesday. So I wanted to thank you all for watching and have an amazing day, and stay safe and stay legal.